The rains are here, and just as people make plans to navigate their activities to beat the ever-changing weather pattern, it is important to also look at one crucial aspect during this rainy season: safety first. The records of road crashes and fatalities this season are unpleasant and unfortunate. According to reports, about 2,776 persons have been killed, 16,309 injured, that's between January and July, as a result of road crashes this year. Experts say adverse weather conditions can have different effect on different types of road crashes. Now, the higher cases of accidents recorded in the rainy season are attributed to the slippery condition of road surfaces and poor visibility. This worrisome situation to reduce road crashes is part of the mandate of the Federal Road Safety Corps. And over time, the Corps have continued to sensitize motorists on precautionary measures to take while driving. Travelers are advised to avoid excessive speeding, overloading as much as possible. Stay clear of night trips, please, due to perennial danger that comes with it. Lest we forget, it is the Ember Months period, which is why caution at this time should be of utmost priority to all road users. So how much effort is the FRSC putting to ensure safety on the highways nationwide? Tonight, on Weekend File, we'll beam our spotlight on ways of reducing road crashes during the raining season. And our guest is Hyginus Omeje, Assistant Court Marshal, Head of Operations Nationwide, FRSC. We'll bring you situation reports filed in by our correspondents across the Federation. Thank you for joining us. This is Weekend File. I'm Ruth Aguela. Let's begin with it. President Bola Tinubu is reassuring that the current hardship in Nigeria is just a momentary sacrifice needed for his administration's reform to ensure a better future and more prosperous Nigeria. The president addressed the prevailing socio and economic situation in Nigeria during his meeting with executives of the Nigerians and Diaspora Organization in China. State House correspondent Musbahu Danwahab reports.
Time with Nigeria's ambassadors in China. These representatives, with ranging durations of stay here and with experiences in different fields. But then, they had concerns on due recognition in China, government support for small and medium-scale businesses in Nigeria, as well as the renewal of a currency swap policy to ease international transactions. The relevant ministers addressed the issues raised.
It has been a very good trip.
For the president, this trip has opened up opportunities, new ideas, and insights to double down on policies and programs to facilitate infrastructural and economic development across Nigeria.
So good roads here. I want to emulate and reflect it back home. I want our children to be in good schools, not in tattered huts. You make teaching interesting and make business flourish.
And then, an opportunity for the president to address the current economic realities back in Nigeria. Fuel prices are yet again fueling outcries in town. But President Tinubu is sure aware of the situation, yet confident that Nigerians would soon benefit from the ongoing reforms.
One economic action leads to another. It is in your hand to build our nation. Now is to provide the leadership that is necessary, and I'm committed to that. If we say we have oil and we are not utilizing it for economic prosperity of our people, to develop, to diversify the economy, to build highways, who will do it and when?
Just as he promises that his team will not fail Nigerians, President Tinubu seemingly enters a deal with Nigerians across the world.
I promise you good governance. You should promise me good citizenship.
And he also wants to go home to make those implementations, not as though we don't have them, but he's going to take them seriously and make sure that we have all of these things. And that is one thing that really struck to us.
He has asked us for his support. We are willing to support. We've heard from him. We believe in what he has said, and he has said that he's ready to work, even with we in the diaspora, to achieve the aims and objectives of his government.
And so, they were left with new impression and hope that the current administration means well for Nigeria. From Beijing, Musbah and Wahab, NC News.
In a related development, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar has reaffirmed that President Bola Tinubu's visit and Niger's participation in the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation has led to several outcomes. Considering Nigerians' effort in enhancing regional peace and promoting regional integration with a strong emphasis on respecting democracy, good governance and the rights of citizens. The minister, in a joint statement with the People's Republic of China, says China commends Nigeria's leading role in ECOWAS and its efforts towards bringing stability to the region, and supports Nigeria to play a leading role in the regional areas, including the fight against terrorism and managing differences. The minister pointed out that China is urging West African countries to engage through friendly dialogue and consultations as a way forward in sustaining regional integration. And bringing our attention back home, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has commenced the distribution of free fertilizer to smallholder farmers, as directed by President Bola Tinubu. Musa Baba Ali reports that the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, flagged off the distribution in Burgu, Niger State.
2.1 million bags of fertilizer were released to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The farming inputs are to be distributed to smallholder farmers as part of the Renewed Hope Food Security Strategy. A substantial amount of the bags were allocated to state governors for onward distribution at state and local government levels. This marks the commencement of the distribution at the federal level. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, represented the President at the flagging of ceremony in Bargu local government area of Niger State.
Let's be magnanimous, as the President has been, to ensure that this thing gets to the people it is meant to.
It is going to impact on us positively and greatly, because it's one of the itching problems for poor farmers who cannot afford to buy fertilizer.
You know, there was a time when we had seizure of rains, and even if they had applied it that time, it wouldn't have been useful. Now the rain is a bit stable, and the normal rates we're expecting. So I think this is the best time to apply these fertilizers.
President Bola Tinubu has also directed the ministry to commence preparation and data capturing for farmers who will participate in the 2024-2025 dry season farming. From Bargu local government area of Niger State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Academy in Wudil, Kano, witnessed a significant occasion as the 6th regular course cadets marked their passing out parade in a grand ceremony. Vice President Kashim Shettima, while addressing the graduating cadets, charged them with the crucial task of upholding the nation's security with professionalism and integrity. Elizabeth Yela Lamido reports.
A dinner was held to honor the graduating cadets of the Nigeria Police Academy Wudil ahead of their passing out ceremony, a celebration of the cadets' achievements. Inspector General of Police Kayode Ekbe-Tokun addressed the cadets, urging them to maintain integrity, and emphasized the importance of their role in strengthening the security and stability of the nation. At the parade ground, the cadets impressed the audience with a demonstration of their training, performing a simulated rescue operation and combat scenario. This display showcased their tactical skills and preparation for the challenges ahead. Vice President Kashim Shettima, accompanied by Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, was in attendance. The Vice President inspected the cadets and was met with an outstanding parade. Among the 462 graduates of the 6th regular course, 7 were awarded first-class honors and over 100 received second-class upper degrees.
It's not an easy one at all, but alhamdulillah, we have conquered and today we are rejoicing.
Our seniors will ask us, when will you pass out? I want to tell them now that I'm already out. I've done my POP, glory to God.
I feel like the happiest man alive because it's been a very, very tough and rigorous journey.
The cadets now prepare to begin a 1-year attachment, transitioning into full service as officers of the Nigerian Police Force. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila-Lamido, NT News.
Governor Diko Umururada of Katsina State has urged for prompt responses to distress calls while commending the Nigerian Army in its efforts at addressing security challenges. He stated this during a meeting with Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurit Lagbaja, at Government House, Katsina, to discuss enhancing security measures in the state. Let's hear more from Awul Haliru.
Governor Dukarada commended the recent visit by top military officials, acknowledging the federal government's growing concern over Katsina State's security situation. In a meeting at the Government House, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurik Labaja, expressed optimism about tackling the challenges through collaborative efforts and appreciated Governor Rada's unwavering support.
I often say that the Nigerian Army is the people's army. The sense of having troops deployed in the state is to work in concert with the stakeholders and work in concert with the indigenous and inhabitants of Katsina State to achieve that desirable and lofty objectives that the people have set out for the army.
The Chief of Army Staff emphasized the need for intensified citizen sensitization to complement military operations and enhance community involvement in addressing security threats. The discussions also focused on strengthening joint security initiatives, ensuring farmer safety, and developing effective community response strategies to counter attacks. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
In other news, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, has advised graduates and students of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative to embrace the responsibilities and challenges that lies ahead as leaders with right vision and values to catalyze transformational change in the country. This was during the graduation ceremony of third cohort fellows of the LMI at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. National Assembly correspondent Amina Saidu reports.
The Legislative Mentorship is a brainchild of the former Speaker Gbajabiamila with the aim of empowering and preparing young leaders with practical experience in governance, politics, and decision-making process. The Chief of Staff to the President said LMI equips participants with needed skills and capacity to transform challenges into opportunities.
The new generation, people like you, are learning from the past, taking these lessons to heart, and finding ways to make things better. You carry with you the wisdom of those who came before you, and now you carry within you the prospects of shaping the future of those that will come after you.
This is the kind of investment we have to do. This is the kind of shares we have to really put our money into. We need to take care of the younger ones. We shall be digging our grave if we abandon the younger ones to all these vices.
Graduating students who were full of hopes expressed their readiness to contribute meaningfully in the legislative and democratic process. Amina Saidu, NTA News.
Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, has reiterated President Bola Tinubu's dedication to transforming the Almajiri education system and ensuring millions of Nigerian children receive formal education. During a visit to the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Education headquarters in Abuja, Professor Mamman lauded the Executive Secretary, Dr. Mohammed Idris, for his initiative in engaging key stakeholders to support the Commission's mandate, demonstrating his commitment to collaborative solutions. Dr. Mohammed Sani Idris expressed gratitude for the minister's visit and acknowledged his guidance and accessibility to their working relationship. The federal government, we hear, has reintroduced the Change Culture song and its visual to drive the ongoing Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 25 reforms in the Nigerian Civil Service. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, unveiled the Change song at a retreat for federal permanent secretaries in Abuja. Haman Jabani reports.
There were obstacles and there were hurdles that we had to face. There were challenges and there were struggles that we had to brace. Now there's a sound of change that is coming.
The Change Culture song and video are expected to drive and accelerate the critical reforms in the Nigerian Federal Civil Service and act as a unifying force that will strengthen the culture of efficiency, productivity, incorruptible and citizen-centered public service. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, said the song is a source of pride and inspiration and will serve as a clarion call and rallying point for all federal civil servants that will unify the shared value mission to drive the reform, boost productivity and deliver excellent service to Nigerian citizens. The release of the Federal Civil Service song marks the beginning of a journey in which every federal civil servant will play a crucial role in the change culture and change management aimed at promoting value reorientation, transparency, accountability, and culture of integrity.
I see culture marching to greatness. EP, I see culture marching to greatness.
Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Let us change that with you, right? Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, has submitted a memo to the Chief of Staff to the President that he would be proceeding on an indefinite leave of absence due to family and medical reasons. In a statement, Ngelale thanked the President for appointing him as Presidential Envoy on Climate Action and Chairman Presidential Steering Committee on Project Evergreen. He looked forward to returning to full-time national service soon. Meanwhile, the President has received a memo from Ajuri Ngelale, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity and official spokesperson of the President, as well as Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Action, informing of his decision to proceed on an indefinite leave of absence for personal and health reasons. The President accepts his reasons for the leave, fully understands them, and sympathizes with the circumstances that have led to this seemingly difficult decision. While extending his heartfelt prayers and best wishes to Ngelale and his family during this challenging moment, the President hopes for a speedy recovery and full restoration to health. All right, we'll go on a break now. When we come back, we'll start a conversation on ways of reducing road crashes, especially this rainy season. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The conversation will be on ways to reduce road crashes this rainy season, but we want to find out situation reports across the country. You know, the rainy season contributes a higher percentage of road traffic crashes globally, with Nigeria inclusive. But what measures should motorists take especially at times like this, to ensure safer journeys to their respective destinations. Here is Oyeyemi Ajayi with details.
The rainy season, one many yearn for, likewise desire for youths, and also referred to as a calm period. But to the road users, it's actually a time of caution due to high rates of crashes. According to statistics by the Federal Road Safety Corps as of June 2023, Ogun State recorded most traffic crashes in the southwest, with 1,243 cases in 2022. Nasarawa, Kaduna, Oyo, Lagos and Niger states also recorded high cases of traffic crashes. These states and the FCT have consistently recorded high road traffic crashes cases, with seasonal changes being a major factor.
The rainy season, the rate of road traffic crashes used to be higher compared to the dry season.
Getting to the last quarter of the year, which is popularly referred to as the Ember period, road safety and management officers emphasize the need for caution from drivers.
And that's what prompted FRSC to develop a special driving condition advocacy within this period, because we know that the rainy season comes with flood at times, which normally affects the driving ability of some of the drivers that have not perfected the act. And we developed this process of guiding the motoring public on the use of road and how to adapt themselves to the condition.
No doubt, more still needs to be done to ensure that the roads are indeed safe for everyone. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Although the rainy season cannot always be avoided by road users, stakeholders, however, say there are dangers attached to not abiding to road safety regulations. Adejoke Odeka tells us more from Lagos.
Lagos, the economic hub of Nigeria, is densely populated. This is one reason traffic is always heavy, earning a notorious reputation for its relentless congestion. A population of over 20 million grappling with the limited road and transport infrastructure have led to this situation. Recklessness on the part of drivers, ignorance of highway codes, overspeeding, poor traffic management and varying weather conditions, among other factors, have led to road crashes. This is worse when it rains and the roads are slippery with poor visibility.
When some driver is coming, when they saw that there's no vehicle that's passing, then the trailer show red that you stop. When there's no any vehicles coming, we will pass. But every time here like a Keja, they used to use camera there.
And how can this be reduced to stop the carnage and loss of lives of loved ones?
Speed limits. If you overspeed during rainy season, because the road will be slippery.
They have to ensure that their buses are put in the right shape.
According to the National Bureau of Statistics, in the last quarter of 2023, a total of 1,323 Nigerians lost their lives in road traffic accidents, while 2,717 accidents occurred during that same period.
Within this period, the Federal Road Safety Corps is known to provide adequate logistics.
Citizens are advised that driving safely during the rainy season is essential for the safety of all road users. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
All right, let's bring in our guests. We have in the studio the Assistant Court Marshal in charge of Operations Nationwide, FRSC, Hyginus Omeje. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Omeje.
Thank you very much.
Now, I can just imagine how overwhelming it is for the FRSC, especially this period, and coincidentally, beyond the rainy season, it's the Ember months. So tell us, what is at stake this period, especially for road users?
Well, I think for road users, this is a period everybody needs to be more careful while behind the steering. The rainy season is already here, and all we can do is to adapt our driving to suit the prevailing situation we have on the ground. Like you rightly captured in the those documentaries prior to our coming on air, you notice that I'm happy that people know what the issues are here, especially during the rainy season, that if we speed, we are endangering our life, especially when it is raining. So for us as officers, it's more tax on our side in terms of enlightenment, in terms of educating the motoring public on the proper use of the road at this period. And for the motoring public, it's about changing our attitudinal predisposition to the use of the road. Yes.
Indeed, and I like the fact you just ended with attitudinal change. This is something that has been hampered on over time, especially during sensitizations by the FRSC. Am I correct?
Yeah, very correct.
So are you taking this campaign to, you know, Road Users Association, talking about commercial drivers now? When your car is functioning properly, of course, these accidents can be avoided to some extent, right?
Yeah, it can be avoided. All crashes are preventable. Let me just put it that way. If what is required to prevent that crash does not lie within your purview, it definitely lies within the purview of the next person or the next motorist, who, if he does what he's supposed to do, that crash will be avoided. And let me also reiterate what you had the core public enlightenment officers of the corps said. And it's about our men now. We have come up with a special enlightenment campaign within this period. We go to parks in form of park advocacy and also educating the motoring public. You see our operatives sharing flyers, and you also see us more on air educating the motoring public. And it's important that we look at what are the issues here. What are those things that we really need to be careful about? We have talked about the speed of an average motorist when it is raining. You need to slow down your speed each time you are driving and the road is wet, because definitely at that point in time, if you apply your brake, it might not just, your stopping distance will increase. And it's also important that even before we start the vehicle in the morning, you notice that we are quick to check our oil, we are quick to check the water level in our radiator, but nobody remembers to check the wiper, which is what will help you if it starts to rain and you are already on the road. So we must endeavor to ensure that our wiper blade, that they are functioning. And also, we need to be very careful about your tire at this period, because if the tires have worn out, definitely it's going to also increase your stopping distance at this period when the road is wet, because it's definitely going to be slippery. There's just this layer of water between the road and the tire. And that's why if that groove that is always on the tires have worn out, then the groove serves as a gutter, sort of, to channel this water, but it's not there. Then you find out that if you apply your brake, your stopping distance will definitely increase. So these are the key issues we need to do. And you also notice that visibility is also poor during rainy seasons like this. Occasionally, and at times when it wants to rain, you notice that it's as if night has actually come, which means that you just be sure that you see and you are also seen. And for you to ensure that you see and you are seen, then your headlamp and, of course, your rear lights should also be working. So these are issues.
Yes, indeed. Even your AC has to be working because of the dew.
Yeah,
but something very important, Mr. Omeje, is the speed limit device. If you recall, in 2016, it was introduced, and then it was enforced in 2017, February to be precise. If we look at what has been happening over time, it's more than 8 years now, about 8 years now. How effective is compliance? Now, not just for articulated, okay, that's a tongue twister there, articulated vehicles, but also for commercial vehicles and also private car owners. What's your record saying as regard compliance?
When we started this scheme, it is purely for commercial fleet operators, and we are still on commercial fleet operators. We have not entered the private vehicle operators. We are saying that all commercial fleet operators must have their vehicles installed with a speed limiting device. And the reason is very simple. In the event of a crash, you find out that the fatality is always higher with passenger carrying vehicles, and that's why we are focusing on that. And then I tell you, the level of compliance is high, but we are not yet there. I must confess, we are not yet there. Many more still needs to install this device. And one other challenge we have also noticed is that we've noticed the issue of tampering with this device out of sheer ignorance on the part of the drivers, where you see a company actually installs a device and the driver at the other end, because he wants to make as many tons as he can, goes and circumvents it, and we have tackling it. We have also devised another means of checkmating them, and that's why recently the corps procured radar guns and distributed it across all the sector commands within these critical corridors, so that with it we'll be able to really know those vehicles that are above the speed limit, which simply means that what you installed, even if you claim that you installed it, that you have tampered with it. So that is the program is still an ongoing one. We are still enforcing it, and I know we'll get there one day. All right, Assistant Court Marshal, we have to take a break. We'll pick up with the conversation. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. Just before we continue the conversation, let's get a situation report from Enugu. Susan Eze reports that stakeholders are of the opinion that, they identified certain aspects, talking about to improve road safety in the state. They said improvement in design, construction and maintenance of road infrastructure, as well as obedience to traffic rules, are some of the factors that can help. Let's see that.
Taking road safety into account in urban planning is an important consideration key players say must not be neglected by policymakers.
The major area that needs to be touched is the road infrastructure and then the road signs and road markings. If people are seeing it, they know that, oh, this road is slippery, this road there is a hill, this road I need to come down because there's a narrow bridge in front. We also need the drainages on our roads. So if we see all those infrastructures on our road, it will go a long way to mitigate ROTC.
Assessing the rate of road traffic crashes, especially during the rainy season, experts explain the rain causes accidents through a combination of several physical factors that degrade the driving environment. Some of these include loss of friction between the tires and the road, impaired visibility through rain on the windshield, and spray from other vehicles. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
All right, Mr. Omeje, going by that report and the ones we've seen previously, you know that the factors are just there that contributes to the road crashes. But as part of digitization of the FRSC, recently we saw the mobile app that was relaunched, talking about the National Road Crash Reporting System, information system, if I get it correctly, to monitor situations and get accurate data. Tell us how effective that will be, especially to reduce road crashes or to monitor the situation.
Well, the app that we launched recently, like you rightly pointed out, is one way of FRSC leveraging on technology to see how we can address some of these challenges. That app is a one-stop shop where all FRSC processes are just articulated for the benefit of the motoring public. One thing that is in that app is that that app has all the black spots where you could envisage that crashes could occur on Nigerian roads in 8th. And as such, each time a motorist is getting close to those black spots, you will get a beam that you are approaching a black spot. And what that simply tells you is that you should slow down because anything can happen here. Not only that you get a bill, it also has the physical characteristics of that place. So if you look there, you will also see that physical characteristics that have been embedded in that app for you to know that you are approaching that black spots.
So how does it work? The road user just need to download the app,
You
right?
just need to download it.
Okay.
It's in the Play Store. You just need to download it, and of course, depending on the service of FRSC you want to. Now, one is just the issue of those black spots. Another one is also that you can also, through it, even check the speed of the vehicle you are in, even as a passenger. Because if the man is going beyond the stipulated speed limit for that road, you, the passenger, you will also get a beam that this driver is going above the speed limit. And as such, you need to caution him. I think we are shifting emphasis even more from the driver now that the passengers also have a role. If you see something, say something. Don't just allow the man to carry you like a sheep being led to the slaughter and go and waste your life somewhere. If you are in a vehicle and the man is driving recklessly or driving dangerously, then it behoves on you as a motorist, because road safety is a shared responsibility for you to also raise up your voice. And that's why everybody must download this app so that you can get yourself equipped. The man should not just, you paid to get safely to where you are going. You didn't pay to end up in the mortuary. You didn't pay to end up in the hospital. So that is why that app is very important. Another major feature is that with that app, you can also, give us eyewitness report of what happened, what you saw.
Okay.
You saw a crash on the road, you could just use it because it has a camera, you can just picture it and send it to us what you saw. Or even the attitude of the driver behind the wheels, you can also use that app. And also the attitude of our personnel, because we need a feedback mechanism to serve Nigerians better.
Okay, yes, talking about the feedback, right?
Yes.
And I hear from the, in the control room, they're asking the name of the app. That's the National Crash Reporting Information System portal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a two-in-one. That one was to report crashes. But remember that the other one also have other services embedded in it.
Okay, so I know everybody will start downloading that app right away.
Let them go to the Play Store and download it. And also our website. It's also an FRSC website. You go to our FRSC website, you also see
Okay, Mr. Omeje, we don't have much time, but I want you to remind those who have forgotten of the penalties involved when you flout traffic rules and regulations. Just in case they've forgotten, can you remind them, please?
Well, depending on the one that you flout, but the one I know that's commonest among us is the issue of use of phone while driving. Each time you drive and you use your phone and you are ticketed, you are already coughing out 4,000 naira to the government coffers. And should you also drive dangerously, you also drive without a driver's license, 10,000 naira might go off your pocket. You know what that means. And like I said, it depends on the violation and what you did. Tire violations, okay, 3,000 naira will go off you. But I think the most, the one that everybody should remember vividly is that all those ones we are talking is just money. But the greatest penalty is that you could end up in the mortuary. And I think your family, that's not what they are asking of you. You owe your family a duty to be alive and live up to your responsibility.
Thank you so much, Assistant Corps Marshal for the FRSC. He's in charge of operations, Hyginus Omeje. Thank you. Keep up the good work. We'll keep monitoring developments as they unfold. We're not praying for anything unfortunate, though, to happen. Well done.
Thank you very much.
All right, and just a reminder, just go to their website and get that app downloaded on your phone. You can save your own life. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Glad to know you're there. Let's find out what's happening on the global scene. We hear Algerians vote in presidential election, just as United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer makes historic visit to Northern Ireland. Chukunonso Mwambweze will give us details.
Polls closed 7 p.m. local time with preliminary results expected Saturday night, while the electoral authority is bound to announce the official results on Sunday. 78-year-old incumbent President Abdelmadjid Tebboune is widely expected to secure a second term. More than 24 million Algerians registered to vote in the election. In another development, United Kingdom's Prime Minister Keir Starmer Saturday became the first British leader to visit Ireland in 5 years, vowing to reset damaged post-Brexit relations between the two nations.
For us to be having our second meeting at this level in those few weeks shows a real intention on both our parts to reset this relationship, renew this relationship, deepen it, and that'll be a great benefit to Ireland and great benefit to the United Kingdom.
Of the peace process, something that I know we both take extremely seriously, and there's much work to be done there, and I really appreciate the time that you've given to that since taking office.
Boosting economic growth as well as their joint rules in response to international crises was also high on the agenda. Meanwhile, Panama has deported 130 irregular Indian migrants who had entered the country through the Darien Jungle. The move is in fulfillment of a repatriation agreement signed in July with the United States. Panama has now expelled 219 migrants in the last 2 weeks. Chukunonsonwa Boeze, NTN News.
And talking sports, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu congratulates Onyinyechi Mark on winning the country's first gold medal at the Paralympics and setting multiple world records at the Games in Paris. She describes the incredible achievement as evidence of what can be accomplished with dedication, resilience and perseverance, noting that the Paralympian has not only made history but also paved the way for others to dream big and aim high. The First Lady says Nigeria and the women folk are proud of the athlete, who she prays will continue on the path of more victories. And talking about victory, Super Eagles kicked off on a sound footing, beating Benin Republic 3-0. But I'm not to give you the gist. Francisca is standing by with Sports Update. Hello, Francisca.
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome to Sports Update. Nigeria kickstarted the journey to qualify for 2025 AFCON on a winning note after a 3-0 victory over Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo. Ballon d'Or nominee Ademola Lookman broke the deadlock in the second minute of first half added time. African Footballer of the Year Victor Osimhen, who missed the last 2 international football windows, then doubled the lead in the 78th minute before Lookman scored his second of the match for the maximum 3 points. Super Eagles are expected to arrive in Kigali on Sunday ahead of match day 2 against Rwanda on Tuesday. In the other Group D match, Libya and Rwanda drew 1-1.
Na bitte, das ist doch die Geschichte. Victor Osimhen! Und der ist gut, der ist drin! Doppelpacker, Ademola Lookman und Moses Simon.
Developing young and grassroots football talent is the priority as Nigeria Youth League Cup kicks off in different centers nationwide this month. The tournament, which brings together football academies and feeder teams of professional league sides in the country, stakeholders say will improve age grade teams.
Nigerian League, we don't have any organized youth competition in Africa. There have never been anyone, and there's no visibility. And for that reason, there's no visibility for these guys. So we decided to ensure that we do the right thing, and to start ensuring that we have a youth league, not just a youth league, but also to have a competitive one. Not also a competitive one, but also to have a well-structured and technological-driven league.
Nigeria bounced back at the ongoing FIBA Under-18 Men's Afro-Basket in Pretoria with a 70-60 point victory over Angola. Isaac Ezekiel and Suleiman Olaiton combined well for 41 of Nigeria's 70 points as they registered 20-18 point win, the first before a 12-6, 15-25 and 23-16 points over 4 quarters. The Junior D Tigers will take on Uganda in the final group phase match on Tuesday morning.
Jerry won. Abraham Hart makes one that seems to have sealed the game. That is it for game 2 of the day. We'll come back later with Senegal going against Scotland.
Nigeria had earlier lost to Egypt in their opening match on the tournament ongoing in South Africa. Well, that's it on Sports Update. Over to Ruth.
Thank you, Francisca. All right. That's what we call it a night, right? I'm proud to be a Nigerian, and I urge you to be patriotic. Do have a good night rest. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Bye.